All right, good morning, guys. So I am coming to you from the lounge this early in the morning, and it's about 7:30. The things we do when we make a decision that we want to succeed at something. This is really maybe our second week on the ground here, like literally. We've been sleeping here and working here, my husband and I. From the time he came in about 2 weeks ago, he's been, underground. He had not left until actually yesterday. He left back to the city, and he he should be back in Miami within the next 4 or 5 hours. He left early this morning, actually about maybe 40 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago. So anyway, just want to show you the level of commitment to your project is very important, and our commitment is on fleek. Trust me. So I'm gonna show you where I've been sleeping for the past, and we've been squeezing in the corner for the past 2 weeks. Just every day we get up early and we start a new project on this facility. So things that, like I said before, if you had watched my other video, I said that the things he didn't like, he has to come and complete. The painting he needed to complete. Lots of stuff needed to be done. And he did a lot of refreshing, so I'll walk you through. But before that, let me show you where we've been squeezing into an air bed. And it's a small air bed because the larger ones are too flat. So, and I'm way too old to be trying to get off my knees, to go to the bathroom at nights, or, to wake up in the morning or whatever. Nope, I'm not doing that. I'm almost 50. These knees are not as great as they were when I was 25. So, now I have to, like literally have something high that I can get up, and not struggle like that. So we tried the larger airbed, and we still have it, but that thing is too low. So anyway, he got a twin one, and that works wonderful because you can just slide right off, and it works well. Anyway, so let me show you. So I wake up in the morning to Joyce Meyer. She's always preaching some good stuff, so I like hearing, her talk about her experiences and how she's really just made her way despite her troubles in life. And it's a reminder that, all of us can do it, even though things aren't perfect and the way they start. All right, I'm going to turn it down a little. Anyway, this is my air bed. So yesterday I put my sheet out to get some sun, but of course the May-June rain started. I forgot that it was outside, so I wet up my sheet. So I ended up having to take this blind, So I'm telling you, the level of commitment is real. So I took this old blind that I brought in about 4 or 5 years ago, and I had it up here. It came up with some stuff. So I just decided to use that as a cover to cover the mattress, and I just kind of pulled it over me a little because at night it gets really cold in Guyana. I don't know how many of you know that, especially in Linden. I don't know about the city as much, but Linden gets really, really cold. I swear, colder than Florida, because in Florida I need my AC at nights. And in Guyana, I do not need an AC, and I do not need the fan. I keep it on because of the mosquitoes, but I turn it away from me because I don't want to be sick under that fan. So I usually just wake up about 6 o'clock. We're up. Sometimes 5:30 we're up, and we start working on a particular project. My husband, sometimes he wants to sleep a little bit later because he works way harder than I do. Because remember, he's doing all the manual labor stuff. But by the time I get up and everything else, he gets up with me and he starts. So even though he's gone now, gone back to Miami, I want to show you some of his work, and I'm so proud. Anyway, so this is actually my work. I painted it yesterday because he insisted on painting it. But I told him no, because I didn't want customers to come and then they have to enter and then the paint is not dried. And we had, and he did this on Sunday when we were ready to open. So even though it was raining cats and dogs, I always figure, even though most linen people don't like to come out when it rains, I there's always those customers who will show up, and some of them did. So I think it was a good call not to paint the stairs and not to paint the rest of the balcony, or the balcony on the day that he wanted to. But anyway, he painted upstairs, give it a refresher, and it looks really, really nice and dark and shiny. Don't know if you can see it, but anyway, it had a really dull look from before. Um, and with him changing it, that looks really good. He had a big battle with me to put up these lights here, these string lights, and I'm a decorator at heart, so we battled until, of course, I climbed up, put it up, and then once he saw the look of it, he liked it. But these separate the VIP from the downstairs, and I thought it would have looked really good, and I was right. So when you see it at nights, it looks really, really good. And again, it gives a separation between the two section of the building, one being VIP versus where you can just come to the lounge downstairs. So he brought me this bistro sign from my kitchen because I had it, and this is even before. I'm telling you, premonition, or maybe, I don't know what that is, but I had bought this bistro sign from Ross, probably for about $10 or so, $10 or $14. I loved it. This is even before the concept came about, and it was black, and I had sprayed it red one Christmas. But I had it in my kitchen in Florida, and he brought it to me. So I was very happy because it made sense. These bar lights I had put up, I had them at my place in Florida too, because we have a small bar, and but now it's not being so good to us. Sometimes it lights, sometimes it doesn't. I'm gonna get the guy who fixes all my little lights and my things on site to come take a look at it, or to collect them and take a look at them to see what's happening. So we do have a cooler upstairs. So when the VIPs are here, I only carry Corona and Corona and Heineken in there. So they're more expensive. So I put that in there. Have to organize that a little bit better, and I have water there too. So they drink as much as they need, and then they pay after. Nobody does anything, nefarious. So that's good. People who come here really are responsible, and they come here to have a good time. So I wanted to show you it from upstairs, but this is all work that he did. First of all, I painted the door with a streak of black going down. He hated it, so he repainted that door where he covered the black. I had also painted the area where the glass is, and I need to get all that stain that I put on there off. So I'll probably get up there with some kerosene and try to clean it off. Hopefully it comes off and it doesn't look so stained. But that's the men's bathroom. He had the septic tank painted because we wanted to make it look, a lot decent. And it was white before. I had put some primer on it just so it can look decent. But he ended up painting it blue. And he also painted the where the tank sits. He painted that blue as well. Again, just upgrading the facility so it looks a lot better than it really than it was looking. He also sprayed the entire building, washed it down, which was good because then the dust from outside on the red road, it will come in and take over the outside of the building, and sometimes the handles and so on. This is one of the reasons why it doesn't get inside as much at all. I don't know, thank God, because people ask me all the time how is the dust treating me, but it doesn't really affect inside as much as it does outside, the outside of the building. Inside, I really don't have any troubles. And you can tell by wiping the countertops and, washing your dishes, it doesn't get inside as much Barely, if it does get in, it has to be a bad day, and it gets in here and there, but not as much. So I don't have that overwhelming problem. So that's good. And okay, let's go downstairs. So I had to change the blinds here. They were actually white. I changed them to black, and oh, I was so happy because I remembered I had the velvet black. And then I was like, okay, I need at least two blinds on each side. And then I remembered that when I first opened up, I had these tablecloths made into blinds because I had it at the VIP because I needed something long. And of course, I've since changed out the VIP colors to blue and white. And I remembered that these were still, of course, available because I started using them back as regular tablecloths. And I grabbed them so quickly and put them up here. So now I don't have to deal with watching that my blinds go from, white to reddish colored because of the dust that flies. And that's because the area is an industrial area and there's a lot of lumber yards, and they're also doing construction on this road going to Madia or someplace, I don't know, from here in Linden town. And this is the back road. So they've been doing lots of work, and the trucks pass by constantly. And if the weather is dry, like it's been for the past several weeks, it's they have to wet the road. There's a truck that passes by and wets the road. Thank God. So that gives a lot of control over the dust too, because there are people who live here. So it was unfair for people, and then the cars drive here too. So again, that dust could be overwhelming, but it goes straight up, and I'm sure it affects a lot of people, but for some reason, like I said, it really doesn't get over here as much. And then we hadn't washed the building since last year, so it needed some washing, like pressure wash. All right. You can tell it's raining. One of my biggest pet peeve is watching this place wet. But it is what it is. It's Guyana, it's the outdoors, and it's going to be wet. This is one of the reasons we didn't redo this part that looks really horrible when it's wet. But we didn't redo it because we're going to put up that deck that we told you about. So we're going to start that project within another couple of weeks, probably another 2 weeks or so. So anyways, over here, I think I wanted to paint it. But I've got to get the right paint, because the one thing you don't want is for it to become slippery with the wrong paint and hurt somebody or hurt me or my husband, or definitely not a customer. So that is something that I'm considering, like, to get the right paint. I have to find it. I want outdoors paint. I'm sure they sell it here in Guyana, but I have to first look at it. And then, of course, you have to look at your budget. So it's kind of raining out, so I'm just going to step out a little. I'm trying to cover my head with my hands. I should have grabbed the umbrella. I'm going to have to go back in and do that. Anyway, yeah, let me do that because this rain is coming down. Oh. All right. So hold up. All right, so I'm back. So, yep, gotta grab the umbrella because can't trust this rain. My biggest fear in Guyana is getting sick here. I don't care if it's a cold. First of all, if I have a cold, I can't work my bar. I can't be coughing and being sick and working my bar. So I have never gotten sick.